What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Costco with On3 Sports. Another big transfer portal story in the world of college wrestling just dropped today on a Wednesday. It's May 1st. Portal's going to close, but that doesn't stop these guys from entering the portal. Got to get in before the deadline passes, of course. And when the deadline passes, then you have to sit out the following year. So today, Andrew Alirez has entered the transfer portal. Northern Colorado's homegrown national champion, spent 5 years with the program, won the 2023 title. He took an Olympic red shirt this past season. He's in the portal. It seems like there's an opportunity. There are rumors floating around, I should say, about where he's going to end up. Now, Alirez has passions for MMA, boxing. I believe he told the school's website, by the way, that he does want to pursue boxing. Maybe that does translate into MMA, or maybe he tries to do both. Whatever the case may be, he's got aspirations after wrestling. Now he tried his hand at the Olympics. I'm not sure if he's going to try out for the 2028 cycle. He went to the trials earlier this month. Did not get there. Obviously, he's not going to represent Team USA, but he had the year of eligibility left. He spent the whole year training for freestyle. Got to give him a lot of credit for stepping in there. Looked really good on the freestyle scene. But with that 1 year of eligibility left, he probably still had passions to pursue another collegiate national title. We saw what he did in 2023, went 27-0, beat Real Woods of Iowa. 6-4 wild match. He had that one big move that kind of clinched it for him, but he had a fantastic season. And then him winning that national title for Northern Colorado was a little bit eye-opening, because you don't get too many of those national champions as of late in terms of, they're from the non-Power 5 schools. Sure, you have a guy like Parker Keckeisen from Northern Iowa, who just won it this past March as well. So, not a traditional wrestling school, but not a Power 5 institution where you see Penn State with 4 to 5 champions out of the 10 weight classes. You see the Ohio States, Iowa has finalists in there. Traditionally, you have these Big Ten schools, Michigan, obviously. I know Princeton obviously had one with Pat Glory back in 2023 as well. So again, you don't see too many of them. So 2023 was kind of cool to see Pat Glory from Princeton. You see Andrew Alirez of Northern Colorado. The smaller schools getting their hand at these guys can win national titles without going to one of the big blue blood schools. Now, Northern Colorado has a pretty good wrestling program. That's where Justin Gaethje went. Of course, the former interim UFC lightweight champion, and of course, the former BMF title holder. He went to Northern Colorado and wrestled there. And, Alirez made history in 2023. It was great to see. And you kind of missed him on the mat this year, where you're like, oh, how would that 141 weight class shake out if Alirez was back in there? Of course, Jesse Mendez won. Him and Bo Bartlett were the top two all season long. Woods was back in the mix as well after being the runner-up in 2023. So you had 3 guys from the Big Ten really run that weight class this past winter, and no Alirez. And now that he's back, where does he go now? Now, again, the internet rumors, the Twitter rumors are that it will be Iowa. I haven't heard another school that has been trying to get him at this point. It seems like that's the team that's been floated out there. Can't confirm that on my end, but again, if he's right there at 141, could slide right in, replaces Woods at 141 pounds for the 24-25 season. It'd be a seamless transition. It'd be a great fit for both parties. Again, Iowa bringing in a national champion, a guy who has a chance to win his second title and give the Hawkeyes a national champion, or at least an individual national champion in 2025. And again, definitely help with the team race, trying to get a team trophy. I can't say I'm surprised at this, considering he spent 5 years at the school, got his degree, at least based on what I'm reading and what his plans were to do after the Olympics at Northern Colorado was to, finish his degree, 5 years at the school. And again, when you spend 5 years at an institution, generally you are going to be done. Or if you have the opportunity with the eligibility, you take a graduate year in that 5th season somewhere else. Now, again, Alirez spent those 5 years at Northern Colorado. Again, he took the Olympic red shirt. Again, don't forget, he had the COVID year in 2021 where it didn't count. He also medically forfeited the Big 12 tournament that year, so he didn't go to NCAAs. Obviously, he didn't go in 2020 as well when the tournament was canceled at the start of the pandemic, and now 4 years ago. So he's only wrestled in 2 NCAA tournaments, which is kind of hard to believe considering he's been he's been in school for 5 years. But sometimes, as I mentioned in previous videos for On3, you look at what these guys want to do as far as a graduate degree when they pursue their master's, the school has to line up with what you're pursuing. Now, maybe Northern Colorado doesn't offer it. Perhaps they do, but he wanted to explore his options. And again, NIL is a factor here. We know NIL has been a big factor across all sports since it's become a thing over the past couple of years in college athletics, and it's been a big thing for wrestling for these guys pursuing these master's degrees at other institutions. And I got to think if NIL is a factor here, he's going to go to a bigger school that can provide him a lot more money, can give him the resources to wrestle just for the 1 year while he pursues a master's degree, whether he gets it in a year or 2 years. I mean, he only has 1 year of eligibility left, so he's only going to wrestle one more season in college. But he ultimately has to choose a school that, especially if he has to take, if he does a degree where it takes him 2 years to complete a master's, he's going to have to go to a school where he wants to go to that can fulfill those requirements academically. Now, again, I know in this day and age, especially over the last year or two, academics are pretty much on the back burner for that, but that is a factor. And again, the only school that I've seen rumored now that is going to, or I should say, is the favorite to get his services is Iowa. Again, seamless transition right there, 141 pounds. He started his career at 149. I don't foresee him bumping up to 149, considering he's spent the last couple of years back down at 141. I would think he's going to stay at that weight for the final year of his college eligibility. Maybe he goes with the 149. Who the heck knows? But I would expect 141 next year. But regardless if he goes 41 or if he happens to bump up to 49, Alirez is going to be one of the national title favorites next year, whether he's in an Iowa Hawkeye singlet, whether he goes somewhere else. Again, it's a huge move. Is it really a stunner? No. And what would actually be stunning at this point is if Northern Colorado was able to bring him back after he entered the portal. We already saw it earlier this week. Jaroslav Slavakuski of Rutgers, he entered. He had 1 more year of graduate school. He decided to enter the portal to explore his options. He ended up coming back to Rutgers to finish out his career. So he'll spend the final year in Piscataway. Can Alirez return to Northern Colorado? He can. Will he? I'm not so sure. I would say it's highly unlikely at this point based on what we've seen with NIL, especially in the wrestling space. These big schools can offer you these tremendous amount of resources in terms of training partners, NIL dollars, and again, the facilities are just, there are massive advantages for these big schools, especially in the Big Ten and some of the other big money programs around the country. So where he goes, it's unknown at this point. It's looking like the signs are pointing towards Iowa, so maybe we'll see Alirez in an Iowa Hawkeye singlet next season, but certainly a big blow to Northern Colorado, although not surprising based on he's going into a 6th year of college. It happens. We do see this. It's very rare that someone would spend all 6 years at one institution, particularly a smaller school in the sport of wrestling. But hey, we'll keep tabs on it. We'll see where he goes. But obviously, that's the big news of the day in the wrestling transfer portal. So we'll see where he goes. Whoever gets him is going to get somebody that has 72 career wins, is a national champion, and certainly going to be a favorite to be a national champion once again in 2025. So be sure to follow me on Twitter at NickCosco59. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video and subscribe to the YouTube page. Follow On3 on all social platforms as well. Keep it locked here for more wrestling content on On3 in the future. I'm Nick Cosco.